Hey guys, it's Devin from the Edgewood Urology Center. I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of information about the hydrocele, the anatomy of the testicle, and go over the procedure of removing the hydrocele and the ultrasounds. So I'm just going to give you a little bit about the anatomy of the testes. The hydrocele is going to be a barrier to the scrotum and the testes. So the testes are the most essential organ for the male reproductive system. They are glands where testosterone and sperm are produced. The testes are contained inside of the scrotum, which is a sac-like pouch of skin that hangs below and behind the penis. Also for climate control, because the testes need to be regulated at a temperature lower than the rest of the body. The testes are oval organs that lie in the scrotum, secured at either end by a structure called the spermatic cord. And the tubes inside of the testes are coiled masses, and they are responsible for producing those sperm cells. So in this model, it displays the hydrocele, which sits along the wall of the scrotum next to the testes. It is a fluid-filled sac, usually a clear fluid, that if you shine a light behind it, it would light up like a lightish pink, like a flesh-colored almost, just displaying that clear fluid that is in that sac. Here we have the testes, which is right next to that hydrocele. It actually barriers to it, so the hydrocele would go all the way over to that testes. And then it would be an enlarged scrotum wall, so you would have this portion of the scrotum is inflamed. It is enlarged because of that hydrocele. It is pushing that extra pressure out on the skin, making that skin really, really super thin, almost feeling like a sort of water balloon kind of effect to that scrotum area. So a testicular ultrasound would be done to diagnose the hydrocele, to rule out any sort of blood in the scrotum or a mass, because with that enlarged area, it is hard to feel the testicle because there's so much fluid in the scrotum. They just need to get a better look at the inside to see what's going on, to figure out what procedure should be done to remove that extra fluid. Sometimes that fluid will disappear within a few months on its own, but if that is not the case, you may need a hydrocelectomy, which would be the removal of that fluid around the testicle. Like I said, hydroceles can be seen by placing a light behind the scrotum. When the light is shined through, you would be able to see that clear fluid in the sac. Ultrasounds are invasive. They don't hurt. They're on the superficial layer of your skin. A warm gel is applied to the area, and the sound waves from the transducer create that image for us to be able to make a diagnosis. From the doctors would make a diagnosis of the hydrocele or whatever is going on in that scrotum. With the hydrocele, if it does not go away on its own, usually it takes a few months for it to go away by itself. If that is not the case, we do a procedure called the hydrocelectomy, which is the removal of that fluid in the scrotum. The process or the procedure is very, very simple. It only takes less than an hour for that procedure. You are put under a local anesthesia. You would be NPO for 6 to 8 hours prior to that procedure, meaning no drinking, no smoking, no eating anything, no chewing gum, 6 to 8 hours prior to that procedure. And then you would come into the facility. You would need someone to drive you because you wouldn't be able to drive yourself after being on that local anesthesia. Again, the procedure takes about an hour. They would remove that fluid. Recovery time in the facility, you would be there for about 2 hours just to make sure that everything's going okay post-op. We do serve you a little bit of food. That way, since you haven't eaten anything, you do get a little bit of something into your system. And then you would be free to go home after that, having someone drive you. And then we would need you to come back in a couple weeks later just to do a post-op check on that area to make sure that everything is healing okay. So hopefully this video helped you guys out a little bit. If you have any questions, just shoot us an email to questions@edgewoodurology.com, and we'll see you soon.